I play this corrupt, really bad cop in it. So,
I mean, you are like quite comfortable in the cop universe as well, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like Rohit Shetty should be looking at me actually. So
exactly. The next in the Singham series should be with you.
For all film-related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Hi, lovely to see you. And before I, ask you the questions that I want to, I was just going through the trailer and your fans had written this, and I think they want an answer. Rajkumar has written, are you a human being or a machine? How can you be a hero in so many quality films in a year?
Well, thanks to Malayalam cinema. It's not about me. It's about this wonderful industry that I'm part of that just keeps coming up with great content, and that we have enough conviction to pick great content like Andhadhun and invest our time, effort, and money into making it into a film. And then we have Amazon Prime Video, who completely believes in the industry and who has absolute trust with me that when I tell them, listen, I think you should pick this film up, they pick the film up. So,
one more. Once put a question saying, audience, how do you act so well? Prithviraj, it's a secret. So the question is, please tell us the secret.
It's not a secret. I mean, any actor is only as good as the script and the director that conceives the script. If my performance is good, it also is because I base my performance on a very well-written script and have a very good director to conceive and execute the way I act. So credit to them as well.
And then the third one, which is also my question, usually Hindi films are known to make remakes of Malayalam films.
Yeah.
Here, it's a one-off. It's the other way around. It's a remake of a Hindi film. So it's pulpy, it's pacey, it's dark. What were your reasons to saying yes to this narrative? And also, since it's being played by another actor, I'm sure you are the kind of actor who reads a character. Is there something that different you have played around with the mind of the character and, his...
So firstly, I just think that, like you mentioned, the latter being not such a common phenomenon, I just think it should be. I think there is enough great content being made in other industries for Malayalam to spot and decide, oh, hang on, that is something, that's a piece of cinema that we would like to have a Malayalam version of, and then come and do it here. Like when I still remember the first time I heard of Andhadhun was when I was directing my first film, Lucifer. And it was Vivek Oberoi who told me, listen, there's this new film that's hit the theaters. You should go watch the film and you should do it in Malayalam. And I think you should do it in Malayalam. It was Vivek who first told me. And in fact, I tried getting across to the makers to procure the rights back then, but it did not work. And coincidentally, this is not the first time I've tried getting in touch with Sriram Raghavan to acquire rights to one of his films. I did manage to get in touch with him to get Johnny Gadar long back. I don't think Sriram would remember this. So I have always believed that, great content should travel this way and that way. Andhadhun is being remade in every other language because it is a fantastic film. Now, having said that, from the moment I saw the film, I always thought this would be a great Malayalam film. Because I just think that at the core, what that film is lends itself so beautifully to a Malayalam milieu. Although it still needed to be very intelligently adapted, which I think our writer Sharath has done a great job with. And then there is this wonderful opportunity of the legendary cinematographer Ravi K. Chandran wanting to make his Malayalam debut as a director. And then he came and we spoke and we mutually agreed on how the film should be. And he's made this film. Is it going to be any different from the original? So I have to tell you that it's a very honest, faithful remake, but with a lot of adaptation. And as a Malayali, maybe because I relate to this language more, I found Brahmam way funnier than Andhadhun. And I just think Brahmam is more wicked than Andhadhun. Maybe it is just my perception, but so as somebody who's seen both the films, I think it's a very interesting case study to watch Brahmam as well. So although I'm very, very sure that for somebody who's not seen Andhadhun, Brahmam will be a very gripping watch for obvious reasons, I'm really looking forward to hear what people who've seen the original say about the film. So.
Interesting, yeah. And I'm looking forward to it as well. And then coming to you as an actor, you and your craft are such that you can't be boxed. Each time and also you are a star, you know that. You have your stardom. Movies, a lot of movies ride on your shoulders. But you can't be boxed, because usually actors of your stature, I mean, it's the tried and tested path that I may as well do it, but you prefer of taking the road less traveled as well. I mean, is it impulse? Is it instinct? How does it work?
So I just think it's a few things put together. So once you reach a place in your industry where you have enough clout, where, you know, like you said, a whole film / project can be riding on one yes from you. Like, I know for a fact that if today I say yes to a script, everything else for it will fall into place. You know, the money needed to make that film, the other cast and crew, producers, distributors, everything will fall into place. So that yes holds a lot of value. So you be very careful about what you say yes to. It's okay to go wrong. You will go wrong. You know, as an actor, you'll go wrong now and then. Which is fine. But the intention behind the yes, I believe, should always be justifiable. And I've never been somebody who's been bothered about investing my time and effort into stardom, because I just think stardom can't be created. It is just something that comes to you once you are a great actor, you know, or once you have enough, you've done enough work to influence enough people at that level. So for me, it is very important that I use this clout that I have as a means to make interesting cinema, because that is what ultimately I aspire for. You know, at the end of the day, it is not about you know, how big a star I can be or how much I've cultivated my stardom. At the end of the day, I would still like my name to be associated with a lot of different kinds of cinema. So when people say that, man, this guy tries so many different things, I'll take that as a compliment. You know, I take that as a compliment rather than somebody saying he doesn't try a lot of things, but he just gives a lot of hits, you know. So
I get that. And in an interview to Anupama, you said you don't have a manager. Usually you do realize, no, there is always an entourage, and then the star enters in his dark shades. You want nothing of that.
I have dark shades.
Yeah, but you know, it's amazing for somebody who is so accessible. I mean, as you've said, you can call me directly. If I don't answer, I'm busy. Otherwise, I will respond. Do you sometimes, are you happy like that with this privacy, your time? I decide when I want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the difference. If I can just decide not to pick my phone up from now to, you know, whenever I want, and I'm not picking my phone up, how is that any different from my manager having access to me and him telling me somebody's trying to get in touch with me, and I tell my manager, no, I don't want to get in touch with him or her, and then my manager calls that person back and says, I mean, just save everybody a lot of time, no? I mean,
but especially in a time when, you know, stars have publicists, they have brand managers, they have managers. I mean, you forget who is who, you know, in the hierarchy. It's like a little.
Yeah, you know, maybe I should hire a publicist and try and publicize this nice guy. So
well, you anyways have that. And also, you know, this 1.5 years, despite the limitations, you've given us 3 films as well, which one you've directed as well. Malayalam cinema is there. As we've been consuming Spanish, Korean, you know, different sorts of content, everybody has, those who weren't aware, have woken up to the world of Malayalam cinema, be it indie filmmakers, be it, you know, star-driven vehicles like you, the kind of stories and narratives being touched upon. What do you think is the reason that Malayalam cinema has got right, and what can the other industries learn from it?
I'm not going to be sitting on a high throne and I'm not going to be claiming that every other industry should watch us and learn. I don't think it is right to be saying categorically that we are the only industry that is making great content right now. I see great films being made in Tamil, in Telugu, in Hindi, you know, there are wonderful films being made. I just think that as an industry, more for the fact that we don't have a choice, we have managed to break down and simplify the process of making cinema. You come into a proper A-list, big-scale Malayalam film, you will probably find 85 people on location, you know, and you will think there is, you know, by Bollywood standards, you will think it's like some small advert being shot, but we might still be making a Mohanlal film. And the fact is, I can vouch for it. I mean, our films will still look as good as any Bollywood film. It will still be glossily shot. It will be very well cinematographed, very well production designed. So I just think we have cracked that code of how we can be efficient as filmmakers. Now, is that something you can learn? I don't know. It is more out of practice. We are doing this because we really can't be competing with Bollywood or with Tamil or with Telugu in terms of scale. The only way we can keep making significant films is that we come back to creating content of some significance. So when all your focus is on the paper, when your entire focus is primarily making the film on paper, we make that film on paper first. And then once a film is made on paper is when we translate it to screen. Once you look at it that way, I just think that filmmaking becomes a lot simpler. Being somebody who's done films in multiple industries, every time I come back to Malayalam, that is the difference I immediately get. Oh, like here, the actual process of shooting is so much simpler because everybody on location already knows what is to be made. We are not discovering that on the location. So,
and also you are a producer, you are an actor, you are a director. Do the three personalities anytime clash in your head? Are there
no? So the thing is, the director and the actor, yes, sometimes. As a producer, my wife tells me I'm hopeless. She tells me if left to me, Prithviraj Productions would by now be bankrupt, which thankfully we are not. She just thinks that I am way too creative and up in the air to be signing checks. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like I said, today I have the means to bankroll content that I think is good. The first film that we ever produced is actually a subject that I said yes to as a hero, to act in it. And no producer would back it. Every time I would mention this to somebody, they would say, Prithviraj, anything you want, but can we do something else? Can we do something more, conventional? So then finally I thought, hang on, I mean, I put my faith in it as an actor. If I can't put my money where my faith is, then what is the point? So that's how this film called Nayan came to be. It was a science fiction kind of a film. Even for a film like Kurudi, I'm not too sure that, that many people would back it. But I wanted to. I thought it was a piece of film that needed to be made. At Prithviraj Productions, I take the call on which film should be made. From there on, all financial decisions usually rest with my wife, and she does a good job of it, as is evident. But as a director, sometimes you have this meeting up here with you, the actor, because you might be on location as an actor, and there might be something that is being shot, and then you think, oh, hang on, man, I mean, this might not necessarily be the right way to do it. But it is very important for you as an actor at that point to convince yourself, no, what you're thinking is not as good a way as what is being done. Because, it is very important that I throw my conviction behind that director. Or else acting is ultimately a process of submission. You have to submit yourself to the process. So the actor and the director in me do have arguments in between, that I have to admit. But so it works both ways, right? When I'm on set as only an actor, it is very important for the actor in me to tell the director in me to shut up. And when I'm on location as a director, many times I've told the actor in me to shut up. So,
oh, interesting. And you also sing. I mean, planning to launch an album any day?
Of course not. I'm not good enough to be launching an album. I can just about hold a tune. That's all.
Maybe in Andhadhun, all that came out, all the singer aspirations of you.
Yeah, I have actually sang a song in Brahmam, which, So
Andhadhun, I'm saying, sorry, Brahmam.
Yeah, so that's okay. So yeah, in Brahmam, I've sang a song. I've sung a song in Brahmam. I've sung a song in many films. I don't know. I think I've done about 20 songs. I'm not sure. Yeah, singing is frankly not something that I enjoy a lot. I don't. It takes a lot of compulsion from my music director friends to get me to sing. And Jake's Bijoy, who's done Brahmam, is a very close friend. So when he said that he wants to attempt a Malayalam jazz song in my voice, I told him all the best. And yeah, so.
Awesome. A fan has asked me to ask you any Malayalam film that you would want to remake.
Malayalam film?
Malayalam film. Or
lots,
any
actually.
To remake.
Lots, I mean, many Malayalam films that I would want to remake. But most films in Malayalam that I want to remake are so good that I'd rather not remake them. There are many films. Many films. I mean, I'd love to do remakes of some of my old films.
And change something here and there. Any particular one that you wish that you can remake and change some aspect?
See, I mean, if I say a film, it means that I was not happy with the original, and there was something in that script that I saw that did not come through in the original that makes me want to do it again. and give the people the version that I saw, right? I mean, so it's not fair on those filmmakers. But there are many films, many characters to which I would love to see a sequel to. Vargam is one of them. It's a very old film, very unlikely that you've heard of it or seen it. It's just I play this corrupt, really bad cop in it. So,
I mean, you are like quite comfortable in the cop universe as well, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like Rohit Shetty should be looking at me actually. So
exactly. The next in the Singham series should be with you. I totally get that. Another question I want to ask you, you had a digital release. You also released your film on the digital platform, and you are someone who draws the huge crowds in theaters. You have seen those serpentine queues. What was it like for you?
It was actually, see, one of the most enriching experiences for an Amazon Prime Video premiere for me was the fact that usually as a producer, I'm going to be talking just about Kurdi here because the experience was way more different as a producer. As a producer, you tend to gauge how well your films are doing in the theater based on your DCR, the daily collection report. Of course, you hear the noise that, oh, the film is great, the shows are sold out. But every evening you get a mobile message where you get a DCR, a daily collection report of how much your film is collected from each center. So you look at that and you gauge, oh, okay, so the film is doing this well, or the film is not doing that well. It's the first time that you gauge how well a film is doing based on the conversations the film is creating, right? I mean, it's basically like you put a product into the virtual world and then you make that like the lighting fire for a series of conversations, and then you listen into all these conversations and then you know, oh man, the film is making a lot of noise, so it is doing well. So that was very, very new to me. And the fact of the matter is that given the circumstances, there really couldn't be a better platform, right? I mean, you've made this film with so much love and care and effort, and you're putting this out there for ultimately what do you want your films to do? You want people around the world, as many people as possible, to see your film, to enjoy your film. That is what is primary, right? Of course, the fact that as a producer, you want to recover your investment, all that is there. But as an artist, what you want most is for people to see your film. And given these circumstances, I really don't think there is a better platform. And it is wonderful. It is wonderful that streaming services and Amazon Prime Video has given this platform, especially for Malayalam cinema, to flourish in the past 1 year. And this was something that was bound to happen, pandemic or no pandemic. This bifurcation in terms of how cinema will exist was bound to happen. Streaming services premiering was a phenomenon that would have come to us sooner rather than later. I just think the pandemic accelerated our journey towards it. But in the future, I strongly believe these will coexist. There will be films being made for streaming services. There will be films being made for theatrical releases. The next big step in this evolutionary circle, I think, will be streaming services commissioning content rather than going out and buying or acquiring films and series. I think they will start commissioning content like they're doing right now for web series. Very soon you will see, people, A-list people starring in an Amazon original feature film and all, and that's going to be great. Yeah.
Will we see you in a web series anytime soon?
You might.
Looking forward to that. And before we go, what's next? You've already directed the Mr. Mohanlal, and who next are you planning to direct?
So, as monotonous as it might sound, my next film also will have Mohanlal in it because my next film is a sequel to Lucifer. So,
awesome. Any fun moment that you can tell us about the man whom everyone regards as a textbook in cinema? Any fun moment that you can tell us that the rest don't know that you discovered?
There are lots, most of which I can't tell you.
That's your secret too.
Yeah.
But also, what is that secret? Since the fans also have asked your secret, how does it work with you?
As in, how does what work with me?
What works with you? What is your secret formula?
There isn't a secret formula. I mean, what is very, very important as an actor or anybody involved with the process of filmmaking is for you to enjoy what you're doing. And so it is very important that more than hits or flops or successes or failures, it is very important that you get involved with only people and work that you will enjoy doing. Because at this stage of your career, you've already done so much work and you don't want to be going through 2 months of your life where you're not in the right space. As an artist, nothing could be worse for you. So what I enjoy most when doing films like Bro Daddy, and I'm directing Mohanlal and all, because we are also quite close, otherwise, is that it's a lot of fun. Every day we say pack up and we're like, let's just get back to sets, tomorrow morning. So that is the kind of cinema I want to be involved in. I want people to come and enjoy. And I can vouch for this. You on Rodaddy location, if you had the opportunity to visit the location, this is not just Mohanlal and me speaking. My assistants, the unit boys, everybody, we were all like one big gang, and everybody is like, okay, what now? What tomorrow? So that's the kind of cinema I want to be involved with. And I strongly believe once you make films with that kind of conviction, more often than not, you tend to get it right.
Absolutely. And in your case, you have. And thank you so much. And
thank you.
Lovely chatting with you, and all the very best. Looking forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.